Alright, what's up, guys? Time for another video, and I'm going to talk about something different today. You ever get one of those things like postings on your social media? Everything from useless information to some of that, some really cool did you know type information that a lot of us are into. Alright, do you ever have one that would actually keep you up at night and you'd actually sit there thinking about, like, okay, how the hell did they do that? Like them kind that you wonder if it's real, and you're not against it. You're definitely not hating on it, right? You hear it, it's good, it's noble. But yet there's something about it. Either you don't want to say somebody's lying, you don't want to say that the person that they were talking about is a bad person. But it would help to look it up and see if there was some extra factual checking. But that there'll be numbers involved. Okay, like one, for example, somebody of a particular name that was a professional whatever, or had all this money. And okay, one story I looked at, like a guy puts forth 1.5 million and buys 1,000 people a house. Well, that's one example. You get this thing that you don't want to say that it didn't happen. You don't hate the person. As a matter of fact, you're really into that stuff. On the contrary, you're into that. That makes you happy to hear about stuff like that. So you don't want to act like it's a lie. But do you ever get one of those that, yes, it's a good thing. You don't want to take away the good thing. But wait a minute, something about these numbers. You don't want to say somebody's lying, but there was maybe a mistake. Somebody got the numbers or the figures wrong. And it's like when you're talking about other things that $1 million or 1.5 ain't really enough, and I'd have to use this as an example. But yeah, something like this I seen on there. Did you know? And everybody shares these things because they're really cool. Some of them are good, but you might question a few of them. It says not bad that there's some kind of mistake. Something ain't right. They got something wrong, right? Yeah, and now this is what it do. Like, you ever have one of those that you lay up awake at night, you want to believe it's true, so, okay, the numbers start going in your head, you're laying awake at night and saying, wait a minute, okay, if you can have 1.5 million, or just make it easier, round it off at a million, but, well, you do everything but do the factual check, and you don't even take out a piece of paper and do any math, but you're doing it in your head, you're laying awake at night, thinking about getting out a piece of paper. Yeah, maybe you're just in the middle of the night, you don't even want to do the Google factual check, but round it off to 1 million, okay, and I make an argument about, say I did this for a bunch of my YouTube friends, the job stick around that. You got to wonder, if you can, $1 million or 1.5, like one of this article I said, how the fuck are you going to buy 1,000 people a house? It sounds knowable. It'd have to be a really fucking small house. It'd have to be like little sheds. I mean, I've seen people sharing on social media, people building these little houses. They are very small. They're not even a trailer. You never hear about them things as dinky things. Maybe it's those. Then, you have back in your mind, geez, how much did the government, when they had them FEMA trailers, when they had everybody out of Hurricane Katrina, there was all that story about people getting sick either from mold or some fucking thing. I forget what the fuck it was, but I have that in my head. So I'm thinking 1,000 people. Jesus Christ. How the fuck are you going to do that? It's got to be small houses. So what I was doing in my head, if you got this far in this video, because I'm almost being repetitive, I'm like, because it's going in my head, right? So I'm going to take an example, says maybe 10 of my YouTubers that actually were making some kind of comment on my videos, right, that kind of know me and were kind of coming back and looking into my videos, that, including maybe a couple long-time friends that you may see this video, you're with me since fucking 2012, okay? So I'm kind of taking out, to make this video, I'm going to use as an example, okay? And say I won the Powerball or something, right? And say I won a whole bunch of million, maybe 10 million or 100 million or even 10 million or 5 million. Okay, and maybe make an argument, say I wanted to spend at least 1 million and give buy a few of you people a house. Okay, let's take 1 million. say that I'm not even thinking of maybe, okay, that I might have to put another million. Say, I got a couple million, I can do what the fuck I want for the rest of my life as long as I don't get into cocaine and other drugs and get scammed out of shit like Stars did. I'd live, do what the fuck I want for the rest of my life, and say that instead of being like a fucking Bloomberg, or owner of Microsoft, giving all that fucking money to these environmental causes, right? That's why I want to make this video too. Say, all right, here goes. Get right to it. $1 million. Say if I counted a number, 10 of you guys, right? That maybe 10 of you guys, YouTubers, that interacted me somehow. Even ones that, if I wanted to get 10, okay, that, you look like you like me a little bit. For the number, for argument's sake, okay, 10 of you guys, if I bought 10 of you a house, win $1 million. Divide that, right? I'd be buying 10 of you a $100,000 home. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If I wanted to take the number and say 10 YouTubers to try to break that down in my head and figure out and rationalize how I can buy 1,000 people a house, which I said is going to be a small house, I'd be thinking in different terms like that, right? But say somehow I dug up 20 of you, and I don't really know how many of you that, out there, for the argument's sake. Say I wanted to buy 20 of you guys a house, and I had $1 million that I was going to spend. Okay, say cut that in half. Okay, would that be what? A 50,000. Okay, each of you guys, I'd be able to get what? 20 of you YouTubers. Try to pick out ones that, maybe ones that don't even like me that much, or what the hell. Because, like I said, in one other thing about getting you $100,000 home, right? $1 million is like 10,000, right? So 10 of you would get a $100,000 home, so I guess I'd break it in half. If I was able to get 20 people watching this right now, you'd have a $50,000 home, right? Okay. And if I break it in half again, let's see, it would have to go half of 50,000 to get. I'd break that in half to get a certain amount of people $25,000 home. I break it in half again if I wanted to do. If I wanted to buy more of YouTubers or social media, somebody that I could call friends for the sake of argument, even if you're not my friends. Okay, you do the math on the rest, because so I don't make my head explode. I can maybe buy more of you guys watching. If I wanted to accommodate more of you guys and buy your house a $10,000 home, and you'd have to look on what kind of home on a plot of property would you be able to get if I said I was going to buy you a house, right? And get you a $10,000 home. Then I break it down again, right? And I want to buy more of you guys watching a house. Then it would be a $5,000 home. Break that down. Because to a certain point, I'd have to do this shit on paper because I'd lose my train of thought. And, I'd break it down a little further, until, well, what the fuck kind of home am I going to get for a bunch of people watching me for $5,000? I don't know, some kind of dinky ass shit. You know what I mean? A shed. Somewhere along the line, if I break it down too much, you guys are going to be living in maybe a shed, okay? A shed on some kind of piece of ground and something, and you'd have to have some kind of property, I guess, on it that you also buy it dirt. You know what I'm saying, you know what I mean? But like, if you got this far, I talked to the girlfriend about some of this stuff. We played a Powerball before, and we thought we could. Always when you think you're going to win some bunch of money if you get a couple of numbers, it's always a bunch of other people got that number too, and you end up getting like $2 or $5. You know what I mean? And that's all digital these days, and you got to wonder if these so-called lottery winners are real, or what the fuck, you know what I mean? I do a whole video on if somehow they find a way to get that money back if you really win a power. I wonder these days that if it's any different than Publishers Clearinghouse, you see on TV somebody won, but where are they? You can't prove that these people are real in a sense, but yeah, say that Powerball, how it ever, in your state, how it gets so fucking big. That's a lot of fucking money, you know what I mean? And say you want to do that. And I'm saying this because there's a part, if you got this far in this video, because the other videos I made that are kind of out of spite for things, to not brag about myself, I preached about. That if you seen those, you probably wouldn't put it past me that, well, I always talked before too, that I can't make money out of my YouTube videos for fitness things. What I would probably do, if any of your guys' fitness friends that whom I think deserve more views, really, there's a few of you that I actually got a couple more views than you, and you're better than me, okay. I made an argument, which this is extra shit that I make another video on, that unlike everybody else that makes money off their videos, if I had some kind of bunch of money, that I'd be the kind of guy that would probably promote my shit on a higher level and pay a bunch of you guys to start on a small level and make a video, right, and do some fitness propaganda. Instead of you guys trying to get money off of you guys like I could train you, get together and pay you to create a video like all that propaganda, you know how on TV that people try to sell that exercise shit? But my thing, it would be just like I wouldn't need to make money. It would be just, you know what I mean, something to do, to get somebody to do my stuff. You know, and as it is, what I do now is just, hey, somebody that's not too sure of themselves, you know, show them a pathway, and if they can get better than me, you know, do what I'm doing, and they can get better than me and do what some of these other guys do. But yeah, that I'm like that, you know what I mean? But yeah, I just need to make it, because I've seen all this. That's a little extra shit that for other videos. But you know what I'm saying? Do you ever wonder? Very wonderful stuff that you like to see it, you like to hear about it. It's good stuff, but you got to wonder if either people get shit wrong or they're exaggerating it. You don't want to call good shit a lie. I like to talk about bad shit too that pisses me off, and all kind of people and things that of different people at different levels that I can't stand. I love to do that. You know that. You know, and my troll, well, if you want to call them troll videos in a sense, they don't even get a hell of a lot of views. But yes, I do like to talk about a lot of good shit. I like to see the good shit too. And very noble, but once in a while there's ones where, like you said, if you lay awake at night, wait a minute, nothing against it, but somebody got something wrong, it's an honest mistake, or, I mean, you're sitting there maybe doing the math in your head, you know what I mean, and nothing against it, but then it leads to saying, well, what if you, hey, feel free to make a long-winded comment and say what you would do. Say if you had a whole bunch of money like that, you know what I mean? That's what this video was about, that you get something and like, wait a minute, this ain't right. And then it leads to, well, what would you do? You know, say if you're trying, because you're trying to also figure out in your head if the shit is fake, if it's some kind of fake news, you know what I mean, too. And it leads to, well, okay, what would I do? You know, and then it leads to, well, if I had a bunch of friends, say instead of using that number, say I take my own number, and it said, well, would I take, 10 of my friends and get them a $100,000 home, you know, with $1 million, or would I break it in half and buy 20 people a home for $500,000, you know what I mean? And, well, of course, it would be up to them to have some kind of income going on where they pay the taxes, and other than that, you know, they got it made, you know what I mean, too, you know, depending on what neighborhood and all the fucking taxes. Well, anyway, it was just something fun that I wanted to say, you know.